Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Listen, man, it is crazy to me that Jaron Ennis, he's still out here trying to call out Terence Crawford. He doesn't care that he has an IBF belt now. He's not worried about how he received it. His thing is, okay, cool. I have the belt. I'm happy. Now it's on. But funny enough, he's not necessarily worrying about, fighting just any 147 pounder to defend his title against mandatories or to unify against other guys at 147. He's out here stalking Terence Crawford. And to me, Terence Crawford, he's going from being a guy from the hunter to the hunted. Somebody said Terence Crawford may be a little bit spooked. Like there's a monster underneath his bed. Probably a couple of them. The Canelo monster, the Jamel Charlo monster, the Tim Tszyu monster, and that damn Jaron Ennis monster. Now this tells me, right? What is it that Jaron Ennis sees that makes him feel, you know what? I'm going to go after Crawford. If you listen to Jaron Ennis and his team, they don't sound like they think Crawford's scared. It sounds like they give Crawford some respect. But at the same time, what I'm picking up is maybe they feel just a little bit like Crawford, for some reason, really doesn't want to fight us. And it has nothing to do with him chasing the biggest fight purses in boxing. It sounds to me like they feel it has something to do with how much of a risky fight Crawford getting in the ring with Boots is going to be. Now, I think that observation should be respected. I don't know if it's an accurate observation, but what I will tell you is, if they're wrong and they keep messing around with Terence Crawford, and he says, "All right, let's fight," it's not going to be good for Ennis, because you piss off Terence Crawford, hey, he turns into a whole different animal. And if you hit him in the ring, he turns into a whole different animal. Okay? So to me, kind of hitting him outside the ring with the pop shots and talking about, hey, no, I still want him. I don't want the belt like this. I want to fight him. Now he's ducking me. He's running. He's scared. Okay, think that if you want. But what I will say is, if Terence Crawford, for some reason, isn't really, if he ends up in a position where he's taking a fight where maybe deep down he doesn't want to, or he's being advised not to, that sound familiar? He could find himself losing to Ennis, because now he put himself in the same position that Earl Spence put himself in. And that could be the whole thing with Terence Crawford. Maybe Terence Crawford recognizes, just like Earl Spence recognized, me getting down to 147 is just not something I should do to fight Terence Crawford, who's going to be coming in there to take my head off. But he did it anyway because he promised the fans, and he wanted to take a shot at Undisputed because he knew going to 154, he may not get that opportunity. So he just went after Crawford, and he lost a fight which he probably thought he would lose anyway. And if Crawford's smart. He didn't promise anybody he was going to fight Boots. Spence promised he was going to fight Crawford. Crawford ain't promising nobody nothing. But if for some reason Crawford knows that getting down to that weight is a struggle, and if he knows that it's not a fight I should take at this point in my career, and if he's being advised not to take it and he gets in there, we don't want to hear no excuses. Because I know for a fact Boots is still making that weight pretty easy. And Boots is going to be coming at him. He's going to be coming at him. Just like Crawford's coming at Spence, Boots going to be coming at Crawford. And if for some reason Crawford has just kind of, slipped just half a step, if it just a little bit of, regression, just a little bit, that could make all the difference in the world, and be the difference between a loss and a knockout loss against a guy like Ennis, who can hit very hard with both hands. Okay? So for me, I'm a little surprised that Ennis is going at Crawford like that. But you know what? I respect that he's going at Crawford and not going at Earl Spence, because there's a lot of weak human beings in boxing that when Spence lost, all of a sudden they want to fight Spence. You know what I mean? We all know what Crawford did to Spence. Spence, you know, I'm not trying to make no excuses for Earl Spence, but it's just hard to not, you know, just look at to recognize that something about Spence just seemed off. You know what I mean? I'm talking about before he even got in the ring. But when in that first round, though, man, you know, he was stepping to him. But you know, but I still have a tough time with that one, man, because you don't want to make no excuses. Because Spence came out hard in that first round. The second round, it was going good till he got touched. But then you look at Spence and how he got in the ring in some of his other fights. He had the same expression, kind of glossy-eyed look on it. So I just think that's just how he looks. How he looked, you know. There's some video circling where they show clips of Spence walking into the ring in other fights where he has that same kind of expression, glossy-eyed look. But at the end of the day, I don't think that what's his name, Boots Ennis, needs to try to sell this fight with Crawford. I don't think Crawford would have to try to sell the fight. If they announced Jaron Boots Ennis against Terence Crawford, I think the world would go crazy. I really do, because that is basically like, you know, Mayweather when he fought De La Hoya. It's kind of like, okay, you know, you got the juice now. Pacquiao and De La Hoya, you got the juice now. So you can see when, you know, Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali, you got the juice now. So you can see when they kind of turning the throne over to the up and comer, the guy who's, you know, still has some legs left on his career. And I think that's what we would see with Crawford and Ennis if he was to fight him, and if Ennis was able to beat him. But right now, Jaron Boots Ennis is stalking Terence Crawford. And I think he's going to, like my boy Malcolm said in the comments, he's going to keep calling out his name, and Crawford's going to appear. You're going to want to see what that monster underneath his bed that keeps calling his name. And then there's going to be, you know, there's going to be a confrontation. And we just got to see who ends up, who's the last one standing. But I think that's a good fight. And I think Terence Crawford, if he keep calling his name out enough, he going to confront that monster underneath the bed. But the problem is that he got several of them out there. And we just got to wait and see if those fights ever materialize, just how Crawford handles those monsters. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.